today we are going to continue chapter number 15, economic development, lecture number 14. Friends, up to now in this chapter we have discussed about the economic development. We learned how economic development is important for any country. We discussed about the indicators that are very useful in measuring the economic development of any country. There are three indicators, that is the national income of the country. The total income of the country, which is known as the national income, is one of the important indicators to measure this economic development. Another indicator that we can consider is per capita income. How this per capita income is measured? That is the total national income of our country is divided by the total number of population of the country. That is the per capita income. That is the second indicator of economic development. And the third indicator is the standard of living. The facilities that the people get, like transportation, communication, health, education, such kind of, if these all facilities grows higher, then it can be stated that the standard of living is high. We also discussed the difference between economic growth and economic development. We learned each and every country aims at economic development only, not economic growth. Because economic growth is quantitative. This growth can easily be measured, but until and unless the quality of life is not improved, then the aim of this economic development is not fulfilled. We cannot consider the aim of this economic development to be fulfilled. So friends, obviously economic development is more important than economic growth, or we can say economic progress. Friends, we discussed there are several major differences between these two words, economic growth and economic development, right? We learned when there is increase in the quantitative aspect, that is called economic growth, but when there is increase in the qualitative aspect of the country, then it is considered as economic development. When the production in the country is increased through different researches in the field, then it is considered as economic development. But in the same way, if the production is increased due to the increment in the particular area, then it is considered as economic growth. Friends, we also discussed about the major difference between developed and developing countries. If the national income of any developing country is increased, it is considered as economic growth. But when the national income of the developed country is increased, it is considered as economic development. If we consider the national income increased of any developing country, it is economic development. But if the national income of developed country is increased, then we can consider as economic growth. Friends, after understanding about these major differences, we discussed about several features of this developing economy. Several features like the less per capita income is always less, population growth is more than 2%, poverty, 1/3 of population of the people of that country lives under the state of poverty. We also discussed unemployment, where 3% or more is the ratio of unemployment in the country. Several dual economy. We discussed about unequal distribution of income, dependence on agriculture, then the form of international trade, where the foreign debt is increased of these developing countries. Friends, these are the several features which is considered as an important features of any developing economy or developing country, we can say. After that, friends, we discussed about the economic and non-economic activity. Any activity that is done to gain monetary benefit, or we can say economic benefit, then that activity is considered as economic activity. Like the activity done by any artists, teachers, doctors, engineers, then in which they get money or they get economic benefit, then it is called economic activity. On the other side, when any activity is done without the purpose of gaining economic benefit, then it is called non-economic activity, like charitable activity, social activities, mother nurturing her child. There are several things these work are done without the benefit of economy, that is called non-economic activity. Then we discussed about the different sectors like primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sectors, that is service sector, in which we understood that what is in primary sector, all the activities that is related to agriculture or agro-based industry or mineral ores, that are considered as the primary sector. Here the income remains low. While on the other side, secondary sector, which is known as industry as well, whatever is manufactured from a small bean to gigantic machine, that all industries are coming in secondary industry. And the third, that is the service sector, whatever activity in which the service is provided to the consumer, that all activities are considered as service sector, like tourism, entertainment, education, such kind of activities are considered as service sector. Friends, after that we discussed about the factors of production, in which land, capital, labor, entrepreneurship. We learned about the important contribution of all these things in the production. After that, we also discussed about the resources, about the distribution of resources, and in which we discussed about how unlimited wants, so scarcity of resources, and all these things are important as resources. Then we discussed about the market mechanism system, in which we discussed about how this market mechanism system was very beneficial for the countries like America, Britain. Friends, we discussed that in market mechanism system, the individual or the businessmen are totally free to take any kind of decision related to pricing or production. Here there is no interference of the government. Competition plays a very major role, and profit is always at the center in this market mechanism system, and that is why it is also known as capitalist. That is why it is known as capitalist system as well. Friends, we also discussed about the benefits and the limitations of this market system. After that, we also discussed about the socialist system in our previous lecture. In that, we discussed that how the socialist benefit system originated due to the limitations of this market system. Socialist system is the vice versa of market system. Here, all the decisions related, the economic decisions are governed and taken by the government, by the state, by the government. Each and every production resources belongs to the government. Here, all the decisions are taken by the government. Here, the social welfare is always at the center. Always the government looks at the needs of the people, and as per that, the production of resources is utilized. So friends, today we are going to learn. Now moving further, we will today learn about the benefits and limitations of the socialist system. So friends, let us cover the topic today, that is benefits and limitations of socialist system. Benefits and limitation of socialist system. Let us start by understanding the features of socialist system. Here, let us quickly go through the important features of the socialist system. Here, resources are owned by the government. Here, the resources are owned by the state or the government. Friends, if in 2 marks this question is asked, then explain the features of socialist system, we need to discuss on this. Resources are owned by the state or the government, we can say. All the economic decisions are taken by the state, that is government, we can say. All economic decisions are taken by the state or the government, as we discussed in our previous lectures. All the decisions are taken by the government. Social welfare and not profit is at the center. Social welfare and not profit is at the center of economic activities. Friends, here if you understand, social welfare and not profit is at the center of economic activity. Here, main social welfare is always at the center while doing any kind of economic activity, and not profit. Like in market system, profit was at the center. Here, social welfare is at the center for any economic activity. Laborers are paid wages in return of their work. Laborers are wages in return of their work. They do in government factories. Laborers are paid wages in return of their work, as they do in the government factories. So friends, here we can clearly understand these were the main features of the socialist system. Resources are all owned by the government. All economic decisions are taken by the state or the government. So social welfare is at the center, not the profit. And laborers are paid wages as per their ability and as per their work, working in the government factories, as we discussed in the previous lecture as well, that even farming is owned by the government in the socialist system. Farm laborers are paid wages as per their abilities in this socialist system. So friends, these were the features of socialist system. Now let us cover another topic. Now friends, let us understand the benefits of socialist system. Now let us understand the benefits of the socialist system. Here, production is done looking in the need of, here it is said that production is done looking to the need of the society. Here the need of the society is important. Hence resources are not wasted. Hence, resources are not wasted in producing unimportant and luxurious items. Friends, here the first benefit is that always the production is done looking in the need of the society. Whatever need is there of the society, looking at that, this production is done. Hence, resources are not wasted. Here, resources are not wasted. Instead of that, here it is said, due to that, resources are not wasted in the production of unimportant and luxurious item. As we learned in the market system, that production was always done of the luxurious item, because here profit was at the center. But here, as social welfare is at the center, government looks at the needs of the people, and that is why the unnecessary production of unimportant and luxurious things are not done, and that is why resource is not wasted. So this was the first benefit. Then here we said that resources are utilized properly. Resources are utilized properly. All the resources are utilized properly. Then disparity of property and income is removed. Here, the disparity of property and income is clearly removed. We cannot see the disparity between property and income. And here, consumers do not get exploited. Here, the consumers do not get exploited, as profit is not at the center. All the necessary things that is needed in the society, as per the need in the society, the production is done, and as government is taking care, totally guiding these, here there is very less chance of consumer getting exploited in this system. So these are the benefits, that resource are not wasted, production is done as per the need of the society, resources are utilized properly, disparity of property and income is removed, as we looked in the market system that this disparity of property and income is clearly seen here, because in the market system competition was there. Here each and everything was owned by the government. There is no competition, and that is why disparity of property and income is totally removed. On the other hand, consumers do not get exploited. Here, consumers are not exploited. So friends, these were the benefits of socialist system. Let us understand the limitations of this socialist system. Friends, let us understand the limitations of socialist system. Now, understanding the limitations, the negative points of the socialist system, as we discussed in the market system as well, there is always two sides of the coin. Where the positive things are there, always the negative things are also present. Here, let us understand about the negative points, the limitations of this socialist system. Here it is said, the government owns all the resources of production. Here the government owns all the resources of production. Hence, people do not get encouragement. Hence, people do not get encouragement and motivation to increase production. Friends, here, as we discussed in the previous market system, that production was increased, and that is the economic development was speedily done. Production was more. Here, as each and everything is owned by the government, here here it is said, hence people do not get any kind of motivation or any kind of encouragement to increase the production, and that is the negative. Due to that, the production is less. There is no competition. Friends, here it is said that there is no competition. So new research is, yes, there is no competition, So new researches do not take place in this economy. As competition is not there, new researches are not done. The same thing is repeated again and again. New researches are not seen in more proportion. Here it is said, no competition is there, so new researches does not take place in this economy. There is a lack of individual freedom. There is clearly the lack of individual freedom in this society. Individual freedom is lacking here. The person cannot take any kind of individual decision because each and everything is controlled by the government in this system. That is why individual freedom is not seen over here. There is total control of the state, or we can say government. There is total control of the state, that is government. So here we can clearly see there is the fear of bureaucracy. So here there is a fear of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy means the big officers, they try to do any corruption because each and everything belongs to the government here. So these were the limitations of socialist system. Friends, you might have understood the benefits and limitations of the socialist system. These are the limitations. The government owns all the resources, and that is why people do not get encouragement and motivation to increase the production. There is no competition, so new researches are not done in this field, and there is a lack of individual freedom for the people to take any type of decision related to production or pricing, and there is totally control of the state. That is why there is a fear of bureaucracy, that means government officials. There is a fear of corruption as well in the government offices. So friends, this was the limitations, and in today's lecture we discussed about the benefits and limitations. Hope you might have understood about the benefit, limitations and the future of socialist system. We'll learn about another topic in our next lecture. Thank you.